to be close to her Aunt Ella, her father's only sister. At least, that's the reason she'd told everyone. Carmen had been her roommate at Howard and was one of the most positive people she knew. Her friend's optimism had helped Leslie get through some rough times after her breakup with Sloan. "No, I have not seen him, and I'm not looking for him, Carmen." "Well, you should. You owe him an apology." There were days Leslie wished Carmen had not been with her that night 3 years ago when they'd taken a girls' trip to L.A. At a nightclub, they had run into Sarah Olson, of all people, the woman who'd been Leslie's roommate while at college in Alaska. It was obvious Sarah had had one too many drinks, and in a drunken spiel, she had bragged about how her plan to deliberately break up Leslie and Sloan had worked. She'd even made fun of Leslie in front of everyone for being gullible enough to believe Sarah's lies. That was when Leslie realized all those things she had believed about Sloan had not been true. "I will eventually see him, Carmen, but I don't intend to go looking for him. There are over a couple hundred guests here." What she wouldn't mention to Carmen was that the phone call she'd gotten from her attorney before leaving the hotel was weighing more heavily on her mind than an apology to Sloan right now. "I would help find him if I knew what he looked like." She was glad Carmen didn't know, because there was no doubt in Leslie's mind that Carmen would go looking for Sloan. He might not have come. The disappointment in Carmen's eyes made Leslie feel bad for even suggesting such a thing. Her friend believed in taking any opportunity to right a wrong. Carmen was also a hopeless romantic. That's one of the reasons Leslie had asked Carmen to attend the wedding with her as her +1. Weddings were right up Carmen's alley. Carmen had flown to Alaska to spend Thanksgiving with Leslie, and her best friend had then also agreed to attend the wedding, because it would be the perfect opportunity for Leslie to apologize to Sloan. Leslie knew Carmen was also hoping she and Sloan could reconcile a relationship that should not have ended in the first place. Leslie had told Carmen countless times that 10 years had passed. These days, saving her company from the clutches of Martin Longshire weighed more heavily on her mind than reuniting with Sloan. "Didn't the bride tell you that she'd gotten Sloan's RSVP saying he would be attending?" "Yes, Kiosha had said that." "Yes, however, something could have come up." A part of Leslie knew that no matter what she'd just said to Carmen, somewhere in this crowd of attendees was Sloan Outlaw. He was here. She could feel his presence. Sloan knew it would be close to impossible to grab even a minute of Tyler's time since he was the groom and taking wedding pictures. That sent Sloan in search of Redford St. James. Sloan could forgive Tyler for not mentioning Leslie's attendance to him, since he'd probably had a lot on his mind in preparing for the wedding. But there was no excuse for Redford. If Tyler knew, then so had Redford. During their college days, the three of them had been thick as thieves. And although they now lived in different cities in Alaska, they still found time to get together twice a year. Moving in and around several people, some he knew, others he did not, Sloan figured that even in this crowd he would have no problem finding Redford. All he needed to do was figure out the best place an amorous couple could engage in a quickie. That sort of thing was what Redford had always been good at, even when they were in college. Storage closets, empty classrooms, underneath the stairs. Those were just a few places that easily came to mind. Sloan left the ballroom and headed down a side corridor toward the back. When a woman rounded the corner and quickly walked past him while trying to straighten her outfit and hair, Sloan knew Redford St. James had struck again. His friend had a problem with keeping his pants zipped. When Sloan reached a cracked door, he slowly opened it and entered a small meeting room. Redford had his back to him, putting on his jacket. "I thought I'd find you in here, Redford." Redford jerked around and then glared at him. "Damn, Sloan, you almost gave me heart failure. I thought you were that woman's boyfriend." Sloan lifted an eyebrow and then crossed his arms over his chest. "Boyfriend? When did you start trespassing on another man's territory?" Redford gave him a smooth grin. "When she looked my way a few times and deliberately licked her lips, I figured someone wasn't taking care of her properly, and I got the message. The opportunity was too good to pass up." "Whatever," Sloan said, closing the door behind him. "So why didn't you tell me Leslie would be coming to the wedding?" Redford rolled his eyes. "Did you honestly?"